Hey, it's Bree here from the Treehouse, and today I have a guest with me, my wonderful and amazing son, Christian. And Christian has agreed to do a few videos with us to help us understand all that he has overcome and maybe give us some insight into how he's overcome some challenges due to his having being on the autism spectrum and having intellectual disability. So, um, Christian, can you help us understand, perhaps, give us some insight into how you decided that you wanted to? First of all, you want to share who you work for?
I work for Amazon.
Yes. And how do you like working at Amazon?
It's a good career.
A good career. What do you do for them?
I work in the warehouse.
Doing what?
I do picking.
And how do you like that? You have to look at, see the camera there? And I never really look at it right either. The greatest. Anyhow, but if you can look in because your viewers want to see you, okay? So don't look at me. All right, so anyhow. So, I've noticed I've heard you sometimes talk with some of your friends, and I thought it's really wonderful that you share with them where you work and you try to inspire them. Do you know what inspire means?
No,
Okay. Inspire means to try to give them confidence to do something. Okay? So you're inspired. Like if you're inspired to be in the Olympics, right? Something or somebody inspired you, made you want to do that. And so you had an inspiration. I remember where did you work before you worked with Amazon?
Kroger,
Kroger, right. And you did what there?
bagging and cart pushing.
Right. And your goal was, you said, to work where when you worked at Kroger? Where did you want to work?
That's Amazon.
Right. Yes. And so because of the pandemic, the opportunity came up, and now are you working part time or full time?
Full time.
Yes. So I've heard you on the phone with some of your friends, trying to inspire them, meaning to give them confidence that they need to go to college or go work for a company. And so, can you share with me about some of those conversations? Uh, what you say to them, how you see they're being able to do that.
I'm just doing this, just helping them what would be the best job for them for the future.
Right, and so I kind of hear you telling them, like, are they reluctant? Do you know what reluctant means?
No,
Reluctant means like you're not wanting to do something. Okay, maybe you're afraid, right? So I hear sometimes like they're reluctant to try to get a job, and so what do you say to them to help them motivate them to want to do that?
just I would explain to them what company I work for, and I would tell them like if you're interested in working at Amazon, let me know.
Right. And what has it been like in terms of the person that you work for? Do you call him your supervisor or your boss?
I call him just my manager.
Your manager. Okay, and how is your manager at Amazon?
Cares about people that are like those are like that's his boss. Like he pretty much goes around and checks up on them and stuff
Right, and checks up on them in a good way or in a bad way?
in a good way.
Right, so can you share some of the interactions? Do you know what interactions means? Like right now, we're kind of interacting. We're talking to one another, okay? So we're interacting. Like you interact with somebody if you play like you. What sport did you like to play before you started working at Amazon and you kind of had to give it up? What did you?
Tennis.
Yes, and so you would interact with other players, right? So, how are your interactions with your manager? Are they good, positive, or are they not so good?
I don't know all the managers.
Well, your manager, the one that you work under.
Back and forth.
Back and forth, meaning they're good and bad, or they, I don't know what you mean by that.
Good and bad.
Really, what are some of the bad things that?
Like there've been a couple times where I clocked in right on time,
Uh-huh.
and he saw that was walking up to his computer where the managers would be
Uh-huh.
standing there and be on their computer
Uh-huh.
or on their laptop, one or another.
Uh-huh.
And there have been a couple times where he starts tripping, like he sees that at 7:37, but he see I clocked in at 7:30,
Uh-huh.
and he tells me like I need to be here right on time, and I let him know that I clocked in at 7:30,
Right.
and he says to me back, he says, "Oh, okay,"
Right.
but
Yeah, that and I think what he's trying to say to you that there, Christian, is that at 7:30 you're supposed to be at your station. Okay. So does he explain that to you then? That means when you clock in, remember like how you go from your breaks, you're supposed to be working at your station. Okay. So you can't be walking around or walking to it. You have to be kind of at your station already. Okay.
but at work they tell you
What?
station to go to.
Oh, okay, so you clock in and then they tell you what station to go to?
Yes,
Right.
that's the way how it works.
Yeah, so can you share some of the good things that have happened?
That my boss told me that he might put me in a different position.
Uh-huh. Right, and how are your reviews? Do you know what your review is? Is your boss letting you know how you're doing at work? How does he tell you you're doing?
Like he might come by my station and let me know that I'm doing a good job lowering the tack time.
What is tack time?
That's where, like, if it gets high to like 100, somewhere around that, where it needs to be lowered to 2.07 or
What does that mean though? Do you know what that means, tack time?
is where you have to pick the items faster and stuff.
Oh, okay, so it's the amount of time it takes you to get that item? Okay, well, that makes sense. You want to lower that time, right? Because the lower that the less time it takes you, the more items you can do there, right? Okay. And how long have you been working there with Amazon?
Last year,
For a year now?
for a year now.
Yeah, okay. And what do you hope to do? Do you want to have a career with Amazon? What is your hope to do in the future? What have you shared with me that you hope to do for them?
Have a career with them and stay there for my retirement.
Right, okay. And what do you think you'd like to do there at Amazon? Do you always want to be in the warehouse, or do you hope to do something else?
Do something else.
And what is it that you'd hope to do?
Do delivery.
Do delivery, right. And so, do you drive?
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you think you're going to have a special type of driver's license?
Maybe.
Maybe. How would you find that out? What would you do to find that out?
They would probably tell me when I do delivery.
Okay, but let's say you don't have that job, right? So it's just like if you want to be a doctor, what do you have to do to be a doctor?
Go to medical school.
Right, very good, right? Yes, you have a, well, I'm trying to think a niece, right? You have a niece who is studying to be a doctor right now, right? And so she's going to have to go to medical school once she finishes college, right? So in order to be a driver for Amazon, what do you think is one thing that you're going to need to do to be a driver? What will you need?
Commercial driver's license.
Very good, right. A CDL. Those are the letters for, right, the abbreviation, right? C, commercial, D, driver's, L, license, commercial driver's license, right. You might need a commercial driver's license if you want to drive the semi-trucks, right? Those are the big 16-wheelers, right? Why do they call them 16-wheelers, you know?
I don't know.
Well, think about it. Why 16-wheelers? What do you think that truck has?
The big packs of.
Well, okay, so kind of put in your mind, you see a truck driving down the road, and if I say there's a 16-wheeler, what do you think I'm talking about?
A truck.
And how many wheels do you think that truck has?
16.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, because a lot of those trucks have to have a lot more wheels. Why do you think they have to have a lot of wheels?
Because they can't use 2 or 4 wheels.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just need 2 or 4 wheels? We have, how many wheels are in your car, your SUV?
4.
Right, you have 4 wheels on your SUV, right? But, so the big trucks have 16 wheels. Why do you think they need 16 wheels?
Because that way in the back won't start scratching on the road and the items won't pop out and start creating a big mess on the road.
Sort of, but do you know that the more wheels, like, have you ever seen an RV?
Yes.
Right, and it has more wheels on it, right, too? Why do you think it has more wheels?
To protect the stuff that's inside.
What, it's heavier. It's due to the weight. I think it's called the GVWR. I think it is the gross vehicle weight something. You have to look that one up, but I think there's the letter that is for the weight of that vehicle. So the heavier the vehicle, the more tires or wheels it's going to need. The more axles. Each set of wheels, like you have 2 axles because you have 4 wheels. You have the front wheels and the back wheels are on what are called axles. Okay? So trucks, right, have a lot more axles, don't they? Because they have a lot more wheels. Right, yes. So the heavier that vehicle is, right, the more wheels it's going to need, because otherwise all the tires would pop. Have you ever seen like a semi that has too much weight and the wheel pops, the tire? Have you ever seen like tire debris on the road where you see like a tire has popped and you see part of a tire?
No.
You haven't seen that on the road? I see it a lot,
I
yeah.
never.
Yeah, and so you really have to watch out for that. So one of the things probably as a driver you'd have to learn is to make sure that your vehicle that you're responsible for is that it's loaded properly, that it doesn't have too much weight. Have you ever seen going down the highway, there are weigh stations where the semi-trucks have to stop at to be weighed? That's because there are laws about how much weight they can carry so that they don't end up having an accident, okay? So that's going to be something. So how do you think you would learn all of that stuff to get your CDL?
Go to a driving school.
Right, you could go to driving school and maybe a community college, right? We talked about you going to a community college. What was one of the classes you're going to try to take at a community college? Drone, right, yeah. Christian is excellent at flying drone. Mom, not so much. I'd crash it all the time and I had to keep getting new blades. But Christian here is an expert. You have excellent, your eye-hand coordination and your focus is just, you are going to do amazing at that course and I can't wait for you to take it. So anyhow, so this is just a brief video and I'm so thankful to you. Thank you so much, Christian, for being on here today and sharing a little bit about yourself. And do you think you'd like to come back for some future videos?
Sure.
That's great. So hopefully this gives you some insight into just talking with your young adult or your child who has some special needs and taking the time to understand and making sure and checking. One of the biggest things that I've had to learn to do is, number one, I'm so thankful to you, Christian, for teaching me patience, because I didn't have a lot of patience before you, but and checking for understanding, to make sure that you understand something. And do you feel comfortable at work if you don't understand something, saying, hey, I don't quite understand this?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, yes. And that's an important thing to teach your young adult going out into the work world, that if they don't understand something, that it is okay to let their manager, their supervisor, their boss, whatever they call them in that position, know that, hey, I don't quite understand this. Could you either write it down for me? Could I write it down? Could we go over it again? How do you learn best? Do you think you learn best by writing things down or somebody showing you how to do something?
Writing things down.
So writing things down really helps you? Okay, well, good. So then, you want to ask your manager, say, hey, could I write this down so that I can remember the steps, right? So anyhow, but I thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to talking with you again and doing future videos. Y'all take care. And if you like, please like and subscribe. You gonna say bye?
Bye.
Okay.